Yo, what's going on everyone? Nihat here, your SAT math tutor. And in today's lesson, I will be going over 14 questions from the official SAT practice test. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future lessons. Let's get started with the first lesson. So, in the first question, we were asked, what is 10% of 470? The thing you have to understand about percentages is that they're basically fractions. So 10% is equal to 10 divided by 100. So it's equal to this fraction. And this fraction itself, we could divide both sides by 10 and that would give us 1 over 10. Now, to find some percentage of any number, all we have to do is to multiply it by this fraction. So 10% of 470, that's equal to 470 multiplied by 1 divided by 10. And that gives us 47. So the correct option is B. Next up, we have an equation 4x plus 6 equal to 18, and we are asked which equation has the same solution as the given equation. Now, here we could solve this equation and then check to see if these equations have the same solution. But this will probably be unnecessary because after some manipulation, we should get to one of the equations in the answers. So right off the bat, what we can do is to move this 6 here to the other side. So it will come as negative. We'll get 4x equal to 18 minus 6. That gives us 4x equal to 12. And from here, we could solve the equation by dividing both sides by 4. We would get x equal to 3. But this isn't unnecessary because we already have the answer here. 4x equal to 12. That's the option C. Next question is the total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person rents a surfboard for 3 hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard. Which inequality represents this situation? Now, let's try to understand this question better. This person, he is going to spend $25 whether he uses the surfboard for 10 hours, whether he uses it for 20 hours, it doesn't matter. $25, it has to be paid. And in addition to that, he's going to pay $10 per every hour he is using it. So that is 10 multiplied by T, the amount of hours he's using it. And to finish it up, we know that he can spend a maximum of $75. So this right here, the amount of money he is spending, cannot be more than $75. So it has to be either smaller than $75 or equal to $75. And that is the option D. Alright, in the fourth question, we are asked the function g is defined by g of x equal to x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x equal to 25. Now, functions basically, so say it's g of x, they take an x, and they return another number, g of x. So in our case, the number it's returning is 25. And we have to find out what value of x we need to provide so we get 25 as a result. So the function is x squared plus 9, and we need to solve for x. Okay, let's move 9 to the other side. We get x squared equal to 25 minus 9, which is equal to 16. And from here, we can take the square root of both sides and would get x equal to square root of 16, which is equal to 4. So the option A. Now, question number 5. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number from 1 through 14, with a different number appearing on each face. If the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? Now, so we have 14 numbers, 14 sides of a die, and every number appears only one time. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and so on up until 14. Now, since it's a fair die, the probability of every number appearing is equal. So on a fair die, on a fair 14-sided die, the probability of rolling a 2 is equal to 14. And the probability of rolling a 14 is equal to the probability of rolling a 3 or any other number. So, to find the probability of rolling a 2, we need to find the number of possible outcomes and the possibility of rolling a 2. So, as I said, it's a fair die and there is only one 2. So the possibility of rolling a 2, that's equal to 1. And the number of outcomes possible is 14, because the die has 14 sides. And there we have it. The correct answer is the option A. Alright, question number 6. A printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So, I will show you a very simple way of doing unit conversions. And it is this. So we have 42 posters divided by minute. So we have 42 posters per minute. And we can multiply this by 1. And it wouldn't change anything. So if we multiply this by 2 divided by 2, that's equal to 1, it wouldn't change anything. We could multiply it by 3 divided by 3, and then again, it wouldn't change the answer, so we're allowed to do that. And we can also, so the trick I'm talking about here is to treat these as numbers. So again, we'll multiply it by 1, but this time we will multiply it by 60 minutes divided by 1 hour. Now, we are allowed to do that because 1 hour is exactly equal to 60 minutes. and dividing 60 minutes by 1 hour gives us 1. And here we'll cancel out the minutes and we're left with 42 times 60 pastas per hour. So that is the answer we're looking for. Now, if we multiply it, we will get 240, 200 and... If I'm not wrong, if my mental math is correct, it has to be 2,520 pastas per hour. The seventh question. We have the function f is defined by the equation f of x equal to 7x plus 2. What is the value of f of x when x equal to 4? Now, to solve this, all we have to do is to plug in 4 in the place of x right here. So f when x of x is equal to 4, that's the notation we're using, is equal to 7 times 4 plus 2. And that is equal to 28 plus 2, and that's equal to 30. So, the eighth question. A teacher is creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point and questions worth 3 points. Which equation represents this situation where x represents the number of 1-point questions and y represents the number of 3-point questions? Alright, again, we have to build an equality, and for that, let's understand the question. The total number of points is 70. Number of points must equal to 70. And for that, we're going to have 1-point questions, and we'll have x 1-point questions. So for every 1-point question, so whatever the value of x, you have to multiply it by 1. So we get the amount of points we get from 1-point questions. And to that, we add 3-point questions. We have to multiply it by 3, because if you have, say, 3-point questions, the total amount of points will equal 9. And there we have it, x plus 3y, 3y, that's equal to 70. The correct option is the option D. The next question. Right triangles LMN and PQR are similar, where L and M correspond to P and Q respectively. Angle M has a measure of 53 degrees. What is the measure of angle Q? Now, let's draw the triangles. We have the triangle, the first triangle, and the second triangle, which can be a little bigger, a little smaller, but the ratios. So the way to understand similar triangles is that if you zoom in on one of them, it will look like the other one. Or if you rotate them, they'll look similar. So they're kind of the same, but different lengths. Now let's name these triangles, and naming them correctly is essential to solve the problem. So the first triangle, LMN, we can name it however we like. L here, L here. Let's go L, M, N. And here we know that L and M correspond to P and Q respectively. That means L corresponds to P. When on this side we'll have P, and M corresponds to Q. So on this side of the triangle we'll have Q, and R will be here. So the thing you have to know about similar triangles is that all of the angles are the same. So these are right triangles, these angles are the same. L is equal to P, and the angle M will equal to the angle Q. So finding angle Q is not very hard because we're essentially given the answer, 53 degrees. Question number 10. The solution to the given system of equations is x and y. What is the value of x? So we have a system of linear equations. Y is equal to minus 3x. 4x plus y is equal to 15. Now, this one is not very hard to solve because imagine you were given the long equation at the bottom and someone just came and told you that y is equal to minus 3x. You're obviously going to plug the value of y here in the second equation, and with that we get 4x minus 3x is equal to 15, and that gives us x equal to 15, and it's what we've been asked. So x equal to 15, the correct option is the option C. Question 11. Which of the following equations is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot? Now, just an SAT trick I need to give you before we start is that here we'll not need to calculate any real values because it's the same in every answer, and the only thing we need to find is the sign of both of these variables. So the equation of a line is y equal to ax plus b. Now, here, a represents the slope of the line. So slope simply means, say we have this line, it's y, the change in y, divided by the change in x. So as you can see in this one, y is going up, x is going up, so y divided by x, that will be positive. But as we have in here, if a line is going down like this, then the change in y will be negative. So y will be going down, but x will be going up. So we'll have the slope negative. So it's the case here. We have a negative, so we can eliminate the options C and D. We need to have a negative slope. Now let's find the sign of B, and B represents the y-intercept, so where this line crosses the y-axis. You can build some intuition for it if you set x equal to 0, because the y-intercept is the point where x is equal to 0. And you'd get y is equal to b. Why? So b is the point, b is the value you get when x is equal to 0. And as you can see from the graph, it's somewhere above 10 and it's positive. So the correct option is the option B, y equal to minus 1.9x plus 10.1. Question number 12. the graph of y of f of x, y equal to f of x is shown where the function f is defined by f of x equal to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. And a, b, c, and d are constants. For how many values of x does f of x equal to 0? Now, since we're given the graph, it will be quite easy to find because the value of y represents f of x, right? So if we are to find the values of x where f of x is equal to 0, we have to look for points where y is equal to 0. So that these are the points where the function crosses the x-axis. So we have one here, we have one here, and we have one here. 3 points in total. So the correct option is the option C. Now, question number 13. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats cost $3 and each cupcake cost $1. If Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, how many cupcakes did she buy? Now, don't let package of party hats confuse you. We aren't going to count them anyways. So let's set out the equation. So Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, and each one of them cost $3. In addition to that, she bought, we don't know how many, so we'll put a variable x, that's our unknown, multiplied by $1, because each cupcake cost $1. And that is equal to $71. Now we have to solve for x. 10 times 3, that's 30, plus x is equal to 71. And if we move 30 to the other side, we'll get x equal to 71 minus 30, and that is equal to 41. And the last question for today, we have a quadratic equation, z squared plus 10z minus 24 equal to 0. Now we have to find what is one of the solutions to the given equation. Now, the way you need to approach quadratic equations is to first try to see if you can rewrite it in this form. X, or in this case it's z minus z1, that's the first solution, and z minus z2. If you can rewrite it in that form, it will be easy. So you get z plus z1, z plus z2. In any case, you have to rewrite it in this way, and you'll have I wrote it a bit confusing, I'm sorry. But eventually you'll have the first solution equal to the negative of z1 here, and the second solution it will be negative of z2 there. So to rewrite it in that way, we need to find two numbers, so a and b, and adding a and b must equal to this number, to 10, and multiplying them must equal to this. Don't forget the sign, by the way. Get minus 24. So thinking about it, two numbers come to my mind. So 12 and minus 2. So you multiply them, get minus 24, and you add them, you get 10. So let's say you can't come up with this. Okay, let me mention one thing before we move on. So the answers for the solutions would be the negative of these both. So the one answer would be minus 12 and the other would be 2. So let's say you can't come up with such numbers in your head, then you have to solve it the old way with the quadratic equation. So we have the solutions z1 and 2 equal to minus b, so minus 10, plus or minus the square root of 10 squared, we have 100, minus 4 times a is 1, times 1 times minus 24, divided by 2 times 1, 2a. Solving it, we get minus 10 plus or minus square root of 100 minus 80. I think that's minus plus 96. Negative times negative, it makes a positive, divided by 2. So we get minus 10 plus or minus square root of 196 divided by 2. Now, square root of 196 is equal to 14 divided by 4. So let's find the two solutions. So we get the first solution, z1 equal to, with positive, we get minus 10 plus 14 divided by 2. And this gives us 4 divided by 2, get 2. Exactly the one of the answers we found before. And z2 will be the one with the negative. So we'll get minus 10 minus 14 divided by 2. And that gives us minus 24 divided by 2, which is equal to minus 12. Again, if you want to save time, solve with the previous method of finding two numbers. And if you can't do that, just use the good old quadratic equation. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching this lesson. I hope you found it useful. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.